We'd never planned to stay in Hersonissos. We'd actually booked 5 nights in Agios Nikolaos. We had an amazing hotel with stunning sea views, but due to the low season and the bad weather, we moved. So the plan was 5 nights in Agios Nikolaos, and honestly first impressions were so good. It was really picturesque, loads of lovely bars and restaurants to choose from. We sat around the lake and tried big feta with honey and sesame seeds and enjoyed drinks watching the world go by. And the views from our hotel room were just some of the best. The hotel we chose was NIKO Seaside Resort right on the front of Agios Nikolaos. The room was lovely, really modern, and we had such a nice sea view. We had a plunge pool on the balcony, which would be nice later in the year to sit in and relax of an evening before heading out. There was a huge comfy bed which was just heaven. 2 large chairs and a coffee table completed the area, and I found these to be a bit too big. Now the sink and shower area. These were open plan, which okay for the sink, but the shower didn't have a door, which I found a bit strange, and the floor around the sink area got soaked when you used it. Thankfully the toilet was enclosed by the front door. There were storage areas by the door, but they were all shelves, and the hanging space did not accommodate long dressers. The room came with kettle, coffee machine, fridge, ironing board, and Clarence toiletries. It was definitely a more premium hotel than our next one, and I wouldn't hesitate in going back here. We knew before we went that it was classed as low season, but we had been advised that most places in the area would be open. On our first night, we found that come 9:30, 10 o'clock, most of the restaurants were closing down, and there was only 2 or 3 bars that were open, and there was only a handful of people in them. We also knew that the weather was due to change. It was going to become overcast, windy, and it was threatening a lot of rain. And as there was so little to do in the area, we decided that it was probably best if we moved to a more livelier resort. Straight away, it was clear to see that this wasn't going to be as picturesque as where we had come from, but it was more open, which with the poor weather was what we needed. There was a nice prom to walk along, with plenty of restaurants and cafes all enclosed, which meant you could sit and watch the sea but stay warm. There were plenty of places to eat, and as it was still early season, it wasn't too busy. As for the hotel, we had chosen Palmera beach, right on the prom, with great reviews and recommendations. But what we didn't know was that the room we had selected was not actually in the hotel, but in a separate building which you had to exit the hotel and walk up a dark and narrow side street to. The door to this building was open all day and closed late at night, but your room key didn't open that door, and then in the dark you had to go back to reception for them to come and open it, which wasn't great and didn't feel very secure. What I would say about Hersonissos is that although I wouldn't say it's picturesque, I can imagine in high season and with better weather this would be a great place to base yourself to explore Crete. Plenty of restaurants, a lovely beach club which we enjoyed, and some great evening venues like Shenanigans, which was so friendly and enjoyable and a great place to spend the night. Did we make the right choice in moving resorts? Definitely. With the weather as bad as it was, we needed choice. We needed to be able to go out, to find food, to find somewhere to sit and relax, and that wouldn't have happened in Agios Nikolaos at that time of season. Hersonissos was more busier, more livelier, a lot more going on, and I can see why people like it. For us, we wouldn't be returning. Maybe if the weather had been nicer and we'd have had blue skies and warm weather, it might have been a different atmosphere, but I think the weather really put us off.